Rangers win, baby, 7-3 over the Minnesota Wild. What an insane game it was over Minnesota. But the Rangers 2-0 now to start the season. Absolutely unreal. Just dominant effort from the forward group today. Defensively, a little questionable, but we're going to talk about all of it. Before we do, though, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially your Ranger fans. Going to cover them all season long. And turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next. But let's just jump into this game because there is a lot to talk about. 7-3 game. Are you kidding me? There is a lot here. So one thing that I do want to highlight off the rip, though, to start it, is something that I want to look at this year because of the fact that the Rangers are really trying to, and they need to play a certain way. I want to look at Money Puck, and according to the Deserve to Win-O-meter, the Rangers only were at a 38% chance to win this game. But I was watching it all game, and it improved throughout the game. And the eye test also told you that the Rangers were improving throughout this game because there was a lot that I didn't like. And it's odd because the first period, you go up 3-0, and you're thinking, wow, it must have been an amazing period, right? But in reality, this was not really a great period at the end of the day. This period, the Rangers kind of got dominated in for the most part, but we'll talk about it. First period starts off pretty ugly, actually. The first shift, the Wild were right in the game, and it was kind of scary. And you're thinking, yeah, this is going to be a long night, isn't it? Because the Rangers also had to travel. You're playing against athletes that are rested. So I don't want to hear excuses. You're playing against professional athletes that are rested. Rested versus tired professional athletes. We know who has the advantage there. But the Rangers did look slow to start. And that Kaprizov line, I mean, man, they were getting chance after chance. They got a 3-on-2 early on because I don't know what happened, but the Rangers just fell like dominoes there, and Schneider and Jones were left behind there, and Hartman ended up missing wide on a shot there. Middleton then goes off for tripping, so we have our first penalty of the game, and the Rangers score on this power play. Panarin, just a beautiful pass across to Mika, and then Mika dishes it back over to Kreider, who buries this one right in front of the net, and that makes it a 1-0 game early. And then defensively, some things that you really liked here. Jones making a nice little defensive play to stop a shot from the slot, but then Igor had to just make save after save. Hartman with a chance in the slot that ended up getting denied by Igor, and the Rangers were getting dominated 5-on-5. Lindgren then takes a really incredibly dumb penalty, and on that power play, Kaprizov, man, was he dominant, and man, was he scary to look at, because I thought for sure he was going to score one there. And that was a guy that, as I mentioned in the preview, if you didn't watch the preview, you should have watched the preview. But I mentioned they need to limit Kaprizov, and they kind of struggle, and it sucks because of the fact that you have the second line change. Gallant couldn't deploy the lines the way they want to, so every single time it felt like that Kaprizov was on the ice, it was the Jones-Schneider pair, and it was annoying. But this was on the power play too, so it wasn't necessarily like that. But then Hartman ended up negating that by tripping Vinny Trocheck. And then Mika has a wide, Mika moves in, I should say. I was about to say wide open. That moves in with a nice move, tries to dish it over to Trocheck, but he was stick lifted there. Couldn't get a shot off there. And the Wild then going back the other way, missed a 2-on-0. And then the Rangers, though, end up going up 2-0, not on the power play, but they go up 2-0 on this one, as Panarin with a beautiful play from behind the net passes it out to Laffy, and Laffy a beautiful pass over to Adam Fox across the crease to bury that one and make it 2-0. You love to see that. And then a little bit after that, towards the end of this period, the Rangers make it 3-0 as the second line had just an unbelievable shift there. Trocheck dumps it down the boards. Laffy then retrieves it, dishes it to Panarin, who snipes one. He's putting over the Laffy. He loves to pass, and that makes it 3-0 game. Overall, strong end to the period, I thought. I thought they were getting dominated in the first half of the period, but towards the end, I thought they played a really great period, and I was checking Money Puck, like I said, and it backed up the fact that the Rangers were kind of playing that way in the first period. Shots, 15-8 in favor of the Wild. Yikes. But overall, I thought that it wasn't the end-all, be-all. Second period, you then had the weirdest period you possibly could have had your entire life, as the second line opened things up with a great shift, picking up where they left off. And then Hartman hooks Panarin early. Rangers get a power play, and the only thing really to come off of that is a Gaudreau shot from a shorthanded opportunity that was denied. That was pretty much it for chances there. Third line finally got their first noticeable shift. Then I thought Hedl and VC got denied on chances. You had Hedl with the initial shot, VC then with the follow-up. Both denied. Jones then goes off for hooking. I thought this was a soft call, and this became a theme throughout the night with the officiating, with these soft calls on both ends, and it was very infuriating to watch. Trouba then just lays a massive hit on Joel Eriksson Ek, but the Wild then end up scoring, and it is none other than Matt Zuccarello who snipes one short side on Igor to make it 3-1. He snipes that one from the faceoff dot, 3-1 game. Fox then goes off for tripping as Lindgren got beat on that play, and Gaudreau tried to cut to the net. Fox gets tripped, or Fox trips him up, I should say, gets off for tripping, and again, another weird call considering the fact that Frederick Gaudreau already shot this one and then they called the penalty, but sure. But Igor then makes a huge glove save on Eriksson Ek, and Eriksson Ek was just being a pain for the Rangers as Kreider then went off for high sticking him, which more like it could have been a roughing penalty for the way he was behind the net there, because Eriksson Ek started whacking at Igor, then proceeded to Kreider getting revenge there. Mika then stopping a Frederick Gaudreau shot again in front of the net, so he was getting some good chances, but the Rangers get a big, much needed kill there, and it was just infuriating and confusing this period. And Fox then, he had a beautiful chance on a wraparound too that got denied. Just wanted to highlight that. And then the Rangers do make it 4-1 as Barclay Goodrow with a pass low to high to Adam Fox, who snipes this one, and Philip Hedl gets the rebound, backhands it in. We have a 4-1 game. And all I can say about that period is, what was that? That was the weirdest period. We didn't see a lot of 5-on-5 play, which made things hard to evaluate. And it was kind of a theme this entire night, which made things hard to evaluate. But shots in that period, 15-13 in favor of the Minnesota Wild. Again, very weird period to say the least. But the third period, second line again comes out strong, cooking with some chances, and it eventually leads to one as they go 5-1. Panarin passes one over to Laffy, who has his shot blocked, and then Panarin recovers that, dishes it over to Vinny Trocheck, and welcome to New York, Vinny, your first as a Ranger, 5-1 game. And then VC, how about him getting a shot right after, almost made it 6-1. I almost said 6-2, because then it was 5-2 as Fox attempted to clear the puck there. That unfortunately ended up on the stick of, I think it was Boldy, and then he just ended up making that power move to the net to make it 5-2. And then the Rangers right after, they end up responding and they drain the building as Kakko, I don't know what I watched from him, but oh my God, I want to see more of that. Protecting the puck with a strong move around the net, in front of the net, strong move. And then he goes 5-hole, doing the Kucherov on Marc-Andre Fleury. Beautiful, just poetry. 6-2. Only for Boldy then to answer right back as Jones with a brutal turnover, and then Schneider kind of misplayed the assignment there. That made it 6-3. Igor also went a little too far out of the net. And then Kaprizov goes off for hooking. Rangers power play, not good. Then you have Reeves and Foligno drop the gloves because Foligno threw a pretty nasty hit on Keandre Miller, which left him with a pretty ugly cut if you saw that shot on the bench. And Reeves got revenge because Foligno was just hugging him most of the time. It wasn't even really a fight for the most part. Then Middleton and Hunt both go off for roughing, and Miller scores. Or not Miller. Miller shoots it. We thought he scored, but then Kreider tips it in. Beautiful shot off the draw, and that made it a 7-3 game. And Igor made some great saves to stop them there. Carpenter at the end misses 2 wide open nets. That's your game pretty much, though. 14-6 in favor of the Rangers for shots. That period in terms of the game, 36-35 in favor of the Wild for shots in the game. Faceoffs 50-50, something that was interesting considering the way the Rangers dominated in the faceoff dot the game prior. Trocheck didn't have a strong game in the faceoff dot, which kind of ruined things there. Power play 1 for 5 for the Rangers, 1 for 4 for the Wild. Hits 27-20 in favor of the Rangers. Block shots 13 apiece, and 1 giveaway for the Rangers, 6 for the Wild. Overall, defensively, need to clean some things up. But I thought they got better as the game went on. I really did. And the shots backed it up, and the deserve the win meter backed it up. They got better as the game went on. And listen, it was hard to evaluate too, because again, a lot of time spent shorthanded in this one. 5-on-3s, shorthanded, just whatever it was. Just way too many of it. And that's something that I want the Rangers to limit, if anything. If anything, they need to limit the amount of penalties. And listen, the refs were not great tonight. That Kreider penalty probably shouldn't have been called either. The Fox one shouldn't have. But then on the other side, there was a Hartman penalty that was called that shouldn't have been called. There was things that happened in this game. The refs called the game a certain way, and the Rangers needed to adapt to it. They did not adapt to it, and it kind of just made things difficult, more difficult than it needed to be. This game could have been easily a blowout. Fortunately, it wasn't, but, well, still kind of was. But unfortunately, the Rangers didn't, they could have let up less goals, is what I should say. But overall, I thought they played a decent defensive game. Again, things could be a lot better there. I would like to see just a little bit more clean play. There was times where they're forcing the play to the outside, but then there were times where Igor's getting tested way too much and they were letting guys in the slot. You got to limit those chances. And in terms of the offense, though, 2 thumbs up. The offense was unreal, which we will talk about. So let's talk about that actually right now. First line, of course, you know the characters there, Kreider, Zibanejad, and Kakko. Great game for them. Zibanejad didn't shoot as much, but still ended up with 2 points, didn't get a goal. So unfortunately, his 160-something goal pace is over now, and he got 3 shots on goal in the game. None of them really, I think, had a chance of going in, to be completely honest. But overall, very happy with this game. Kreider as well was happy with this game, better than last game, especially where he missed those open nets. Got 2 goals tonight. Could easily be at 4 goals right now in the season if he wanted to. 3 shots on goal for him on the night. Way better game for him. And then Kakko, that goal, 3 shots on goal. Something that I said that I wanted Kakko to be a bit better. He was a lot better. And that's speaking volumes, considering the fact that he was unreal in that first game. And then the second line, Panarin, Trocheck, Lafreniere. Do I need to say more? I said in the preview, I wanted more from Panarin. I thought he was the worst forward the other night. But it wasn't a disrespect, because he still played great. But it just was a statement of how good the Rangers were in the forward group. I wanted a bit more, though, from Panarin, too. Wow. 4-point night. 4-point night. Moving the puck exceptionally well. 1 shot on goal for a Gino. Shoot it more, because you have a shot, Panarin. And I hope you discover that tonight, because wow. Unbelievable night from him. Lafreniere, wow. 2 apples for him, and they were both beautiful. Especially that first one. Beautiful pass to Fox. 4 shots on goal for him. Love who I saw. Vinny, wow. A goal, assist, 2 points. Easily the best line of the night. 4 shots on goal for him. Would have liked him to be better in the faceoff dot if I'm going to nitpick here. But wow. By the way, Mika was 50%. Third line, you end up having VC, Hedel, and Gaudreau. Probably I don't know how to feel about them. There were moments where they were shining. There was moments where they weren't noticeable, but it's not like they did anything bad. It's not like they were noticeable doing anything, bad. They just didn't do anything really at all that kind of set the tone for me. Didn't make any exceptional defensive plays. Didn't do anything exceptionally offensively, except for that Hedel goal, of course. But overall, I mean, Gaudreau will take the apple there. How about him? Starting off the season with a couple points. Jimmy Vesey had a pretty good night as well. Better than the first game. 2 shots on goal, 3 hits for him. And then Hedel with a great game as well, getting that goal. Fourth line, you had Reeves with Carpenter and Hunt. Probably the worst line of the night, but Ryan Reeves, he looks quicker. They were talking about it on the broadcast. You notice it. 4 hits on the night, and he looks quicker. He had a great game, in my opinion. Carpenter, stop missing open nets. Might want to get Gustav Riedel on the phone if this becomes a reoccurrence. Although he might be out of the lineup when Kravtsov and Blake come back, huh? Something to keep an eye on there. And Dryden Hunt, nothing really noticeable for him. But thankfully, not a lot of ice time. Thank you. Thank you, Gallant. You learned. And then the D pairs, Lindgren and Fox, they had a couple defensive misplays. The one where Fox took the tripping penalty, Lindgren can't get beat there. And that turnover that Fox had, you can't do that. But outside of that, very solid game. I thought Adam Fox had a great game. 6 shots on goal. 2 points, got a goal. Really good night, in my opinion, for Adam Fox outside of that turnover that he made. And then Ryan Lindgren as well, I thought had a good game. The penalty that he took was not smart either, but I will not complain too much because I thought he still had a solid game. Miller and Trouba, great game from them. Great game. I mean, Keandre Miller's been unreal. The way he's moving the puck, the way he's skating. How about one of those plays he made behind the net? You see that? I think that was in the second period. He's unreal. Tried to show off for the family with a couple shots. Tried to get a goal. And then Trouba was great tonight as well. Throwing a big hit, too. I love what I saw from the defense there. That pair was probably the best of the night. And then Jones and Schneider looked a little more human tonight. I thought they were the worst defensive pair. But they kind of held their ground pretty well for the most part, considering you're going against Kirill Kaprizov. I thought they held their own pretty well, and I'm not going to complain too much. Schneider, he had a couple chances too offensively, and I thought Jones, that one play they made, not great, but let him learn from it. He will. He hasn't had a full season here in the NHL. Mistakes are going to happen. I'm not going to harp on it too much. If it becomes a continuous habit, that's when we'll have issues, but I will not harp on it too much because he still played a great game. He still did. And then Igor, 33 saves on 36 shots, does not tell the story of how well he played. Those Boldy goals, Boldy was just patient and made great moves there to score those goals. Igor played great. And overall, the passing tonight, world class. If you saw my tweet, world class passing. Unreal. I love what I saw from the offense. Let's get to Twitter, though, now. New York Style 24. Sorry that I don't have the tweets up, by the way, because I don't know if questions are still coming in or not, so couldn't get them up. But he asked, are the Rangers them? If they play like this and the way they did on opening night? Yeah. 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 They look hungry. They look hungry. We saw how defeated Kreider was after that series against Tampa. He wants this. Well, look at what he did tonight. They're hungry. That loss against Tampa stung. They are starving to get back there and actually get the job done. But we're only 2 games in, so let's not celebrate too much yet. NYR 10 says, thoughts on Igor tonight? Unreal. Unreal. Making save after save. Kaprizov, limited tonight. And a big part of that is because of the saves Igor was making. Some of those glove saves he had to make. Chances in the slot. He had to bail the Rangers out on stick saves. He was great tonight. Tyler asks, at NYR Enthusiast, says, aside from a few mistakes, I think Schneider and Jones were fine tonight. Yeah, I completely agree. I thought they looked a bit more human, like I mentioned. And yeah, overall, I thought they still played a very solid game for the most part. Again, just a couple things I didn't like. That Jones turnover, Schneider getting beat there in the same sequence. But outside of that, I mean, not really much that I'm mad at them for, to be honest. And then, this is in a different language, so I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to say your name. But he says, I thought they looked good after the first 10 minutes of the game, and Laffy on the board, nice to see. Yeah, Laffy is showing that #1 overall pick skills. And this is what happens when you play him in the top 6. Do it more. Keep them together. Let Kravtsov play on the 3rd line when he comes back. Loved what I saw. Loved it. And yes, I agree. They look great after the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes, brutal. After that, great. Great effort. But that's all we got here. So that's going to be where I end things. And let me know your thoughts on this game in the comment section. How could he not be pumped? How could he not be thrilled with this one? I'm very pumped up. Can't wait already for 8 o'clock tomorrow against Winnipeg. The preview will come out sometime tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, leave a like on it. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload next, and I will see you in the next one. Let's go, Rangers.